Processes are boring, boring things. How on earth can you be doing that for work? My mother-in-law actually said this to me over Thanksgiving dinner as I was sharing with a friend what I did for a living, and boy, did that ever hurt. I mean, it's kind of my life, right? But you know, she was right. Processes are boring. It's the implementation of your processes that is to be truly celebrated. But how can you implement them if you don't have them documented? You have to get them written first. And even more importantly, if you're unable to implement them after going through all of the tedious, boring activity of creating them, what a colossal waste of time is that, right? I thought it might be interesting to show you what it could look like when you're actually implementing a process. I'm going to share my screen with you. I wrote this process for our customer service team to follow up the emails that we receive when someone registers for a free trial of TouchStone, which is our process implementation tool. It's super important that we get new clients up to speed as quickly as possible during their free trial period. If they're unable to experience what it's like to have a process implemented, then they're not going to experience the true value of TouchStone, and they won't keep their account once their free trial ends. So there's my complete transparency. So here's the work plan I wrote detailing the steps to take when we receive the notification that a free trial web form was filled out. Now, what's unique about TouchStone is that all of your processes are linked to roles on your org chart. In this case, for example, I'm linking this process, the inbound emails sales follow-up process, to the customer service representative's role on the org chart. Now, if I click on this tab to access my organization chart and then click on the role of customer service representative, you see a list of all of the processes in our account, in our business, that have been linked to the customer service representative's role or position. And here you'll see the new process that I just linked to that specific role of customer service rep. Now, additionally, as I get a new employee for this position, I'll add them to our TouchStone account and link them to this role of customer service rep. That way, the new employee doesn't have to be hunting for the processes they need, and their manager doesn't need to be hunting for the processes needed for the new employee's training. Everything the new employee needs is made available to them as soon as they log into TouchStone, because TouchStone knows who they are and what role they fill. For example, let's say we have a new employee, John Smith. When he logs in, TouchStone knows he's filling the role of the customer service rep. Clicking on the customer service rep's position will then present him with all of the processes he needs to be successful in this position. These are all of the processes that will be used to train him, and these are the processes that he will be held accountable as they go through their workday. This is the same list of processes we saw a moment ago when we clicked on the customer service rep box on the org chart. They are simply displayed in a new format that the employee can personally sort and organize to make learning their job even easier. And you'll notice right here that here's the new process that we added to that employee's account. We can actually drag it down and put it under follow-up, and then all of his processes are now organized in two key groups. Let's say John gets an inbound email and now he needs to follow up. He clicks on the inbound emails sales follow-up process, and he looks at the email that he sees, and the subject line is notification. A web form was filled out. So he clicks on this work plan, on this specific work plan, which will walk him through the steps he needs to take to follow up. The work plan has all of the information he needs to update the new client's record in our CRM software. It has all of the questions to ask if he gets an opportunity to speak with the new client during the follow-up call. And if he needs to leave a message, it even has a welcome call script that he can follow, so we can be sure the steps for following up with new clients are clear and consistent. After completing the call, there is a sample text message to send the new client. They can copy the text message and paste it into a texting application that we use to send text messages from our laptops. They can edit it as appropriate and send it. And the text message includes a link for the new client to follow to schedule their complimentary onboarding meeting with one of our support team. Now let's imagine this is a brand new employee and you as their manager, you want to spot check that they're following the process. To do that, you might want to create a checklist that the new employee can use and then check off the boxes as they walk through the process. In TouchStone, there is a button you can click that will instantly convert a work plan into a checklist. Then when John Smith is following the process, he can actually confirm for you that he is following each step. So once again, John logs into our TouchStone account. He clicks on the customer service rep position to access all of his processes. He clicks on the inbound emails sales follow-up process. And now you'll notice a new process tool. Here's the checklist that we just automatically created. It's been added to this specific process. John can click on the checklist, enter the name of the new client in the Save As field. And as he goes through the process, he's going to put a check mark beside each of the steps that he completes. Then he saves the checklist for Sarah Jones. He can now print this checklist and hand it to his manager, or if there are a lot of follow-up calls being made, he's just going to save it and the manager can simply spot check that the checklist is being completed, that the process is being followed. Now, obviously, employees shouldn't be needing to complete checklists for every process, every work plan you need them to do. But there are several instances where a checklist is a super valuable tool. And when a new employee is just getting started, it's a great method for a manager to use to make sure the process is being followed. So let's say I receive a call from Sarah Jones. She's upset. Something happened during the call that should not have happened. I can log into TouchStone, and because John reports to me as the VP of Sales, I can go to the Reports section in TouchStone and search for the checklist that was completed during the follow-up process. I can see whether or not John completed the steps as he was trained to do. If he isn't following the process, I'm going to retrain him in it. TouchStone will even track the training of the new employee. This can be very helpful if you have a number of people involved in training. As each process tool and each process is trained, a green check mark is placed beside that process, and TouchStone will date stamp that employee's training with the date and time, so there's no longer any confusion whether or not the employee has been trained. So there you have it. Implementation. It is the most important thing that can happen with processes. If your processes aren't being implemented, reach out to us. We can show you how to make it happen.